Alright, just make sure we're all up and ready to go. Why is it not working? Pull up the stream. There we go. Not so beautiful. Oh wow. All right, welcome. Okay. What is up, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. Today, I am doing a plethora of things. I'm going to be streaming not once, not twice, but possibly 3 times today. We are watching, I can't even say that, Yugoslav Democratic Republic of the Congo. Okay, yes, I do understand there is soccer on, so I am missing soccer for this, unfortunately. But for this stream, I'm going to be doing 3 different parts. Hopefully 3. Do you do delivery? I don't delivery. Let me get through the intro. Okay. So, I'm going to be doing 3 different parts today. First part is going to be the first stream where I'm going to do a tier list of cereal, which I will be doing right after this intro. And then after that, we'll be playing Only Up. I don't think it's like the official Only Up. It's like a different kind of up, but we're going to play it and hopefully we'll enjoy it. Everyone that's in the chat right now, can you guys let me know if the audio is good? Because last time it wasn't, and I regretted it later. Meet you later. Oh, okay. Anyways. So we're gonna start off with the tier list and the gaming, and then I'm going to take a dinner break / feed my cats, and then I'll be back to shoot a reaction stream where I'll be reacting to 3 to 5 videos. One of those videos is literally just like a trailer, just like the last stream, so it really depends on what videos I end up picking for the other ones, because I don't want that video to be, do your cats do delivery? No, my cats don't do delivery. They don't do delivery. Yeah, so that stream's gonna be more of reaction videos. And then the final stream I'll be doing today, hopefully, if everything goes well, is me and Jack are going to stream the second part of, what was that game called? Supermarket Simulator. But without further ado, we're gonna crack open this beautiful coconut Red Bull and get started. Yeah. Okay, so this is, can you get a sip? Yes, you can get a sip. Here you go. I cannot, so this is the first time I've done this on my actual computer. So I hope that you guys will be able to see everything right. It looks like on my end that everything's looking good. So that is good news. But we're going to be ranking cereal. Quick question for those in the chat. Don't expect you to sit here for the whole thing. Would you guys like to be able to hear audio of music or no? Because if not, it's just going to be me talking and we're going to be focusing on this cereal. You would like some chill music in the background? Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Um. Shit. That means I gotta move some things around. Cause this is connected. Music was connected to my Xbox. This is on my computer. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Realistically, I don't even have to wear these. I can just take these off. But I think I. I think I'll talk louder if I can't hear myself otherwise. So we're just gonna leave it like this. Okay. So, can you guys see the cereal very well? Because if not, I can do it like this, which I think might be a little bit better. I think this is the best way. The only thing is there is. Okay, that's better. Okay, so there apparently in this thing is 154 different kinds of cereals. Obviously, I haven't had 154 different kinds of cereals. I've had a good amount, but 154 cereals? Probably not. So this is might take a minute. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit quicker. Um, but yeah. So on the tier list we have at the bottom we have dog poo, which is actually terrible. I will not eat that. Um, Edible is it's not good, but you can eat it. Mid would just be like, it's not exactly edible. Like I probably could like pick it, but it's just like not the best. Peak would be a very solid cereal, and then S tier is literally the best cereals of all time. I would like to have the S tier maximum 10, maximum 10 out of all of them at S tier. So that way there's kind of a battle for S tier because obviously you can't have 25 S tiers. So starting off with the first one, we have strawberry honeycomb. I've never had strawberry honeycomb, but based off of eating honeycomb cereal, I don't do delivery. Why you guys keep saying that? Did I like put that in the thing or something? I'm missing the joke completely. Fruit flavored items, not gonna lie. Yeah, I think I would put edible. Honeycomb already isn't good. Like that good. So I'll just put edible for that one. What the fuck is that? I've never heard of fruit brute. Um, I don't know if any of you have had that. I'm gonna put dog poo. It sounds disgusting. I don't think I would ever pick that up at the store. Fruity yummy mummy. I don't know this one either. Kind of concerning about the future of these. I was expecting more main brand stuff, but I'm gonna put fruity yummy mummy at dog poo. Okay, fiber one. I think this is one of those ones. Actually, no, this one's dog poo. This one's dog poo for sure. There's certain ones that are like, I don't know. They're like shit that your grandma would have, or your mom or something, because they're trying to watch their weight. But we're not here to watch our weight. So dog poo. Alpha bites, bro. I'm throwing that in dog poo. I don't know what that is. Bran flakes, poo. Okay, here we go. Here's a real cereal. Now we can. No one eats cereal for the health factor. Exactly. If you eat cereal for the health factor, then you're not eating cereal correctly. Now that we're to an actual cereal, we're gonna go with Trix. And here's the thing, a few years ago, my mom didn't let us have sugary cereal in the house. Well, that is very unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie, because that is probably one of the best things as a kid. Her mom hated her. Oh, damn. Trix to me I didn't love. But you know, tricks aren't for kids, is what they say. I think. Isn't that the thing? Oh no, it's silly rabbit tricks are for kids. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm putting this at mid. Kicks. Honey kicks. I've actually had these before. These are actually way better than you would think. But I cannot put them anything other than mid. Because peak is too good. My mom kicks me. Oh, nice. Okay, apple cinnamon Cheerios. Okay, so apple cinnamon is a fire flavor in Cheerios. Most of the time, don't miss. So I'm going to put this at mid. Okay, honey bunches of oats frosted. I think I'm going to go... I think we got to go edible here. I'm not a big fan of those. Old people cereal. Yes. Honey nut checks. That's edible. Rice checks. Dog poo. I'm not gonna lie. They're lacking in flavor. They're not hitting the points. Blueberry checks. I feel like that'd be a little better. Edible. Vanilla. Dog poo. We got so much check. Corn. Dog poo. Wheat. Dog poo. Chocolate, probably a little bit better. Like chocolate. Peanut butter checks. Peanut butter is top tier in the cereal community. So I'm going to say mid for peanut butter. Cinnamon is a good one too. Mid. I don't give a fuck about Wheaties. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that's a hot take, but like there's always like I want to be on top of a cereal box or a Wheaties box. That's like kind of like a well-known thing that people want. But I don't even like Wheaties. Doesn't quite make that much sense to me. So I'm going to go with mid. Because they're not bad, but not good. This is ass dog poo. Banana nut Cheerios. Okay, so I have not had, like, what gives. Yeah, exactly. Banana nut Cheerios. I love banana nut. So, I probably would like this a lot. Mid. Basic fours. What the hell is that? Dog poo. You like what? I don't know. What I said. Run that back. What'd I say? I don't know what I said. Great grains. Blueberry morning. Mid. Probably pretty good though. Banana nut. Mid. But good. Blueberry. Okay. We have our first potential S tier cereal. Oh, I like banana nut. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. My fault. Got it. Okay, Blueberry is an absolute phenomenal line. Okay, so honestly, the whole Halloween line of like Frankenberry, Blueberry, Choco, or Choco Dracula, what is it called? Count Chocula? Count Chocula. Tomato. Okay, not putting that there. I will say, for the cereals, I'm going to put Blueberry in S tier for now. It could get demoted, but we're going to start with S tier. Shredded wheats. Dog poo. Nobody's eating that. That doesn't even have the Golden Crisp. Okay, this one, I didn't eat this brand, but Golden Crisp is a sleeper pick, and I'm going mid. I don't know if you guys have ever had that, though. Oreo O's. Oreo O's. I'm sure this just tastes like a fucking Oreo. Oreos are cool. Nah, I wouldn't complain about an Oreo. I'll just go mid. Shredded wheat, once again, nothing on it. Dog poo. S'mores, more like edible. Cranberry almond crunch, edible, not the worst. Blueberry Cheerios. I'll go mid. I like the flavor of blueberry. Chocolate and peanut butter. Okay. Chocolate and peanut butter Cheerios. Gotta go mid. But that one was close to. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys have ever had Cheerios Oat Crunch, but I don't know what the hell they got going on in the Cheerios factory, but Oat Crunch just adds a beautiful element to their cereal. Oats and honey is peak. The only one that's above honey oats would be the cinnamon one. And I don't know if they'll put the cinnamon one. I remember eating Honey Nut Cheerios at my uncle's house at night in Texas. Oh. Just normal Cheerios? Just normal Cheerios in her uncle's basement. I would go peak for these. Oat Crunch is absolutely phenomenal. Chocolate Cheerios. Okay, I'm kind of getting a theme here. I think a lot of these are like in order of brand. But chocolates, how'd you know about the basement? What? I wish you guys could see the chat on the screen. Maybe I'll look at that during my dinner break. And maybe I can get the chats on the screen. Because I noticed this in my last stream. You couldn't see the chats for other people. So then, like, if I don't repeat it, then you guys won't know if you were watching the video on YouTube what the hell I was responding to. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I'll have to look at that after. But chocolate Cheerios peak. I mean, you can't go wrong with chocolate. Churros, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I've never had this. I'm going to go mid because of it. Okay, Strawberry Chocolate Cheerios. I already loved the strawberry one. You add chocolate into it, it has to be peak. I have not had these actually. But I'm going to put this as peak. Cinnamon Cheerios. I'll just put mid. Don't know what the hell this is, but it says wheats on it, so I'm going dog poo. Cocoa Pebbles. I'm going to go peak. I'm not quite get that milk after. I just realized that I just did a milk video, and then my next stream is about cereal. I feel like I'm destined to like eat cereal now. I gotta go to the store, buy some cereal, and eat it. But peak. Cocoa Pebbles chocolate. Peak. Cookie Crisp is single-handedly a S-tier cereal, dude. I'm telling you, Cookie Crisp, to me, is in my top 5. It might even be cereal pursuer S tier. Cookie Crisp is S tier, especially if you love cookies. Count Chocula. Oh, we're gonna put this in S tier for now until we get to the other part, but that that's good. Crunchy pecan. Edible. Chocolate toast crunch. I actually have not had chocolate toast crunch, but I will go mid. Churros again. I will put mid. French toast crunch. How are you in my uncle's basement? Interesting. Peak. I'm gonna go French toast crunch peak. I don't put it in my S tier, but it's a very common S tier for a lot of people. But I'm going peak. Wait, French toast crunch is not the same as cinnamon toast crunch? Cannibalism toast crunch. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe I should put cinnamon toast crunch in S tier because I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the cereals are. So we're going to go S tier. Well, yeah, we'll go S tier for cinnamon toast crunch, and then we'll might have to move it. Sugar cookie toast crunch. I have not had that one. I'm going mid. Mega stuff Oreos. Extra stuffed Oreos in cereal. I like being extra stuffed. Okay, so we're gonna go edible. I can't imagine those would be that good. Kix, berry. I did put the other one as mid. I'll put this one as edible. I don't love a lot of berry. Amazon flakes, dog poo. Cheetah chomps, dog poo. Cocoa chimps. I have seen this before at the grocery store. It's chocolate, so I'm going to put edible, but I don't know. I've never had that one. Gorilla Munch. I'll put dog poo. Koala Crisp. What the hell are these cereals? Leapin' Lemurs. So Luke is officially entered the cereal room. This is Luke right here. Can I click on this? Can you see this? What are we looking at right now, though? This list does not look too bad. We gotta still have a lot of cereal to get through. I don't even know how close we are to the end. But this is, we got a lot of cereal looking at here. We only have 4 S tiers right now. A lot of mids, a lot of dog poo. Don't love the dog poo. Oops, I did not mean to kick that. We're going to go dog poo for leaping. Panda Puffs. Why are we just running through these? Okay, Raisin Bran Crunch. Vanilla Almond. I'm going mid. No, we'll go edible for these ones. We'll go edible. Crave double chocolate. I've actually never had Crave, but with it being chocolate, you already know it's going to be a little bit better. So we're going to go Crave's overrated for real. I have not had Craves. So we'll let chat decide this one. Double chocolate Crave. Where are we putting that? Okay, so one person said mid. The other person said yummy in my tummy. So we're going to go with mid. Honey Smacks. These are the ones that I was talking about for the other one. I honestly think these are peak. If you guys have not had Honey Smacks, you don't know. Honey Smacks, just Honey Smacks. I mean, yeah, it's in the title, dude. Like this is peak. You need to go to the store right now and go buy them. Right now. End the stream and go out there. Cocoa Krispies. I am poor. Yeah, that's fair. She doesn't eat cereal with milk. You don't eat cereal with milk? That's kind of crazy. I mean, see, I've done that like everyone. Raw dogs the box. Oh my god. Yeah, no. If you eat cereal by itself every once in a while, it's fine. But like to not use milk ever is psychopathic. But we're gonna go Cookie Crisp as peak. Can't go wrong with those. All brand wheat flakes, dog poo. Get out of here. Rice Krispies, gotta go mid. Not chocolate, so mid. Cinnamon roll mini wheats. I will go edible. I'm not a big fan of the wheats. Raisin Bran with bananas. Never had it. I'm going dog poo with that. I can't imagine that tastes good. Marshmallows, Frosted Flakes, edible. Little Bites, mini wheats. Again, these are chocolate, so a little bit better. Edibles, Raisin Bran, Toasted Oats. Is this like the regular one? You grew up eating oatmeal, not cereal. Oh. I mean, oatmeal's better for you, so I guess you can't hate too much on that. But, Raisin Bran Toasted Oats, I'm going mid tier. I think that's the normal one. Chocolate Lucky Charms. Vomit? You guys don't think chocolate Lucky Charms are not as good as the OG? I don't think I've had the chocolate one. Okay. I'm getting not as good as regular, and regular would land itself in peak, so we're going mid. Frosted Krispies. Oh, you can hear my cats. Yeah. The door's shut. That's all it is. Yeah, I don't hear them making any noise. Free the cats. Okay. I'll free the cats. What? What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Wanna come rank some cereal with me? Cheeto. Kitty butt. Cheeto has been freed. One of my children. I'm going edible for Frosted Krispies, mini wheats, dog poo, Frosted Flakes, honey nut, edible. I would assume. Lucky Charms, berry, dog poo. Honestly, Raisin Bran cranberry. Get out of here. Dog poo, tropical Fruit Loops, dog poo. Cookies and cream Rice Krispies, probably edible. Apple Jacks caramel. Ugh, that sounds gross. Corn flakes. Edible. Crave. Once again, have never had it, so I will go edible. Frosted Mini Weeks. Blueberry. These ones are actually a little bit better. I'm going mid for these. Honeycomb. We went over this at the very beginning. Honeycomb is not good. Honeycomb is dog poo. Frosted Flakes, just the normal Frosted Flakes. I will go mid. I think there's a lot more that you can get out of a lot of different cereals. Limited edition chocolate Lucky Charms. Turns your milk green. I do not remember these ones. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna go mid for these ones. I didn't know that they had one that turned your milk green. Raisin Bran. Okay, this one was the normal one. This one I'd go mid. I think I give Raisin Bran a little bit of a higher spot because I like raisins, but not a lot of people like raisins. Honey Clovers. We are going to put this at edible. Turns your milk green. This is the same exact thing. They put this on here twice. Dog poo. Crunch. This is just the original one. Edible. Chocolate Frosted Flakes. Mid. Lucky Charms. Just the normal one. Peak. Crackling Oat Bran. Dog poo. Get out of here. Frosted Flakes. Frosted Mini Wheats. Pumpkin Spice. This one is better, obviously, for like the pumpkin spice October thing. But in reality, these are just edible. Anybody that says it's more than that is lying. Like Joe's Frosted Flakes. What the actual fuck? Oh yeah, I've never had those. I would put edible though. Yeah, pumpkin spice. I mean, I like pumpkin spice, but I think there's a limit. There's a limit to pumpkin spice, and I think a lot of times it gets too much. I don't know what this is, but it's all brands of dog poo. Misty Frosted Wheat Strawberry. I do like strawberry, so I'm going to go mid-tier for that one. Frankenberry. This is, in my opinion, the S tier, the best of the Halloween cereals. I personally think that I would eat these over Boo Berry. So S tier. Fruity Pebbles with the marshmallows. I go mid. Frosted Cheerios. Never had it. Edible. Lowers cholesterol. Edible. Fruity Pebbles. I'm gonna go peak for Fruity Pebbles. Gotta go peak for Fruity Pebbles. Honey Bunches of Oats. Honey Roasted. I like these. I go mid. With almonds. Don't love eating my cereal with almonds, so I'll just leave that at mid as well. Vanilla Bunches is actually peak, okay? This is actually one of those ones. Agree to disagree? No, you're wrong. My opinion is the only one we're looking at here. This is the best cereal of all time. I am a professional cereal grader. Not actually, but... Whoa. Fine then, why do you guys keep saying do delivery? What is... What did I deliver? Or does my stream say something about delivering? We want delivery. You just want me to drive all the way up to you. How do you know if you're a woman or not? Well, you would probably... Peak. All right. With strawberries, these look like they're... Can you explain the birds and the bees to me, Christian? No. I would love to tell you, but I do not actually understand the birds and the bees myself. So, with real strawberries, I'm going to go mid. No, I'm going to go edible. Okay, so you want to get the explanation of birds and the bees in cereal terms. So, when a when um um when an Applejack stick. Oh wait, this is a better. You know when the Applejack guy, and then there's like the cinnamon stick guy. If the cinnamon stick guy was to accidentally fall through the Applejack guy, that is the birds and the bees. Anyway, these are edible. You're welcome. Apple cinnamon caramel crunch. Never had those. I'll put dog food. I did not mean to put dog food, but whatever. We'll leave that at that. Cinnamon bunches, mid. Life, cinnamon life, mid. Original life, edible. Strawberry, never had it, edible. Vanilla, edible. Normal Cheerios, mid. I feel informed. Okay, good. Medley Crunch with Oats, Cheerios, Honey Nuts, mid. Fiber One, dog poo. Get the fuck out of here. Honey Maid, I did not know that they had a cereal. So I'll put edible. Not Frost. Fruity Loops with marshmallows. Didn't know that existed. Edible. Little Bites, edible. Pops. Actually, I low-key think Pops are trash. Pops, there's something about them I don't like. Dog poo. Kicks. I feel like we've already had like 3 different versions of the same kind of Kicks, but I think I've done edible every time, so we're gonna do that again. Life, but chocolate. Gotta go mid because chocolate is better. Dunkin' needs to stay out of the cereal field because they already cannot make coffee what they run on Dunkin'. So I'm sure those taste like absolute dog poo. Well, Dunkin' has a few good things, but I think that their donuts comparatively to some of the other donut places are not good whatsoever. They kind of taste like chalk. Maple Cheerios, edible. Multigrain, edible. Oh my goodness, how many more are there? I feel like we've already gone through so many. Literally just speed running this at this point. There it is. Cheerios Oat Crunch Cinnamon. To me, these are an S tier cereal. Honey Oats, but like an off-brand version. We'll do edible. Peach. Cannot imagine peach cereal being good, so dog poo. Whole grain cinnamon. I feel like a lot of these are kind of like the same. We'll go edible. Apple Jacks is peak. I don't think I would put it in my S tier though. Fruit Loops. What does S tier even mean? I actually don't know what the actual like term for S tier mean. I don't really know what S means, but it's just like that's perfect. Before the rebrand. Thanks for bringing that up. Applejack's before the rebrand. After the rebrand, doesn't hit the same. Doesn't feel right. You know, it just doesn't. Just doesn't make sense. Fruit Loops, just a normal Fruit Loop. I'm gonna have to give it in the peak area. I don't think it's necessarily the greatest, but Chocolate Crave got to be mid. Mash up Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops does not sound good. I'm not gonna lie. So. Yeah, it's Pumpkin Spice Cheerios. Pumpkin Spice Cheerios are dog shit. Not gonna lie. Okay, these ones, normal ones, dog poo. Get these out of here. Don't care about those. Dog poo. Dog poo. Dog poo. Honestly, anything with the K on it, probably good for you. But we're gonna go dog poo because all of these I will never buy because I will never buy a box that looks like that. Holy shit. We just went through so many other. My mom let me have Special K. Probably because she thought you were special. Oh my goodness. Gave you healthy food. I mean, getting healthy food as a kid is not a bad thing. It's probably good. Help you raise up, get some good muscles and stuff like that. Toasted coconut Cheerios, cannot imagine that being good. Dog poo. Very berry cherries. Like I said, I don't really like the cherries as much, but I'll go edible because it's Cheerios. Normal Cheerio, mid. Oh my god, we finally got through it. The balcony's calling her name. What? Okay, so we went through every single cereal. I think. Okay, so we are able to fit 6. We have 6, so we could arguably throw um some more over into the S tier. I feel like we're kind of missing some off the top of my head, but there is a lot of dog poo here. Childhood cereal was definitely better than modern cereal. I also feel like modern cereal is chasing a different thing that they did when we were kids. I think when we were kids, it was like, how can we make this shit as sugary as possible? Now they're like worrying about protein and shit. It's like, bro. But I'm putting Apple Jacks as an S tier just to fill that space. That means that we have 3 more. Lucky Charms S tier 2. I'm gonna put Honey Smacks as S tier. I will go Lucky Charms as S tier 2. I think you gotta give it its. Its flowers there. That will leave us with one more that we can put into S tier. I'm looking at this list, and I am not seeing anything worth an S tier. Honestly. You know what? I think I'm gonna go. Fruity Pebbles. Lucky Charms is S tier 2. Retweet a legacy title. You're a legacy title. Gotta rank it off its legacy. Yeah, I think that these top 10 right here are top 10 that you would walk up to any person around my time of growing up, and you would ask them, are these top cereals? And I think you can throw any one of these in. Other than my take on the Cheerio Oat Crunch and the Honey Smacks, I think these are arguably like pretty well known to be fire. I honestly, I mean, realistically, when you're looking at it, like one of the best creations of all time would be the cereal Halloween line of Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Count Chocula. I think they have some more now too. There's like Monster Mash and shit, but that old line of cereal. Yeah, the new line didn't taste quite the same. I don't know if they changed it or what, or at least maybe the box threw me off. But I mean, when it comes down to it, I'm not mad at this list. Can I actually put these in order? Does it move like that? Okay, so I can move these. So the rest of these we're not going to go through. I mean, obviously these are all dog shit. Edible is just like, I would eat it, but it's not great. Mids is like not a bad cereal. Not a bad cereal, but I wouldn't, put it much higher than that. And then Peak is obviously great. I think we're missing some. As far as like the actual good, like the main brand good cereals. But I think that I could turn this into like an actual ranking. Oh my god, you know what we're missing? Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs would have been in my peak. I wouldn't put it in my S tier probably, but how did they forget Reese's Puffs? That's sad. Reese's Puffs is one of the best cereals of all time. I mean, Reese's Puffs, eat 'em up, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. You know what I'm saying? It just, yeah, literally, exactly. Thank you, Nyla. We said the same thing at the same time. Yeah, I think realistically, I think this is my top 10 as far as this list goes. And I don't think you can be mad at that. REESES, yes. Ooh, yes. I forgot about that part. Yes. Peak cinema. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the cereal segment. W fucking list. I mean, they definitely miss a few cereals. But, you know, I'm not entirely mad at that. But yeah. So, are we thinking now, should I hop straight into another game? Are we thinking hopping straight into the game, or are we thinking I take my break now? Phasmophobia win. That would be a good video too. Are you home right now? I guess that would make sense for you to have been. That's a weird question. Okay, well. Dang, it took me almost an hour. You got a movie at 8. New update too. Okay, well we will plan to play Phasmophobia then, because that'll be a good time. It took me almost an hour to explain my favorite cereals. That's crazy. Well, now that the tier list is done, and you said that you are going to a movie. So I think that would be a good point for me to end this stream. We'll just have this as a separate segment. Then we'll carry on over to games later, and we'll play those games and do some reaction videos. Does that sound like a plan? I think that's the best idea. So then I can try to figure out if I can get chats onto the screen. Yeah. Reaction time? Not a bad idea. Yeah, we should have. Did you get camera? Yeah, I think it's reaction time. I think it's not a bad idea. We'll knock out our reaction videos. Reaction time. Remember that guy? No, he fell off. I do remember reaction time, actually. No. Did I get a new camera? I actually have the same camera. I did find out how to make a few changes, which is good. But yeah. So, we're not going to end the stream. I lied. We're going to transition into doing reaction videos. So, we are going to watch something. Okay. Should be able to flip to this here now. So we're on to. All right. Which video should we react to? I got a few videos here. I think we watch The Recycling Isn't Real. I think that's the best idea.
Again, remember, it's always... Real quick, before we start, you're going to have a number of questions while watching this video, and 9 times out of 10, the answer to that question is either going to be technically or money. So I'm just going to reuse this clip every time that comes up. So let's get into it. But again, remember, it's always technically or money. Hello. I'm wearing a lab coat that I stole from my sister who's a nurse, which explains why it's one size too small. The reason I'm pretending to look scientifically qualified is because a few weeks ago, I set out to make a simple video about the history of reducing, reusing, and recycling. But the more reports I read, videos I watched, and red yarn I purchased, the more I realized this is a deeply complicated issue. But surely the title is clickbait. I mean, recycling obviously...
I do not have a white coat. The only white coat I have is my chef's one that I actually need to make some more cooking videos because that's kind of where this channel started off from. So I probably should make some more. But yeah, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Honestly, though, with the recycling, I don't think it's real. I mean, like, I don't know. Because, like, where would they put the recycle? I mean, I guess they do the, Everyone would have to do it to work. Oh, yeah.
Exists, right? Technically, but the reason it's such a mess is due to the very material that popularized recycling in the first place. Plastic. Plastic is so interesting for all the wrong reasons. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that plastic waste is a problem, but the way we got here and the reason you view it the way you do is the direct result of decades of misleading claims, unrealistic promises, and propaganda from big plastic. That's a real thing. I'm telling you right now, this one's gonna be a bummer. I've never liked chemistry because
It's kind of like a thing for this guy. I've seen a couple of his videos. He puts like a green screen on the ground and then puts some buckets on it. But it's kind of like a well-known thing. I think he does it like every video. A lot of his fans tell him to never change it. But, yeah.
Because it's the one science you can't see, and because I have the reasoning ability of a 12-year-old boy, if I can't see a thing, I tend to believe it's not real. We all know that plastic is made from oil, yet none of us know how. Prior to writing this, I couldn't even imagine how that worked.
He just... Oh, bless me. He just said that everyone knows it comes from oil. I did not know that. I did not know that plastic came from oil.
As far as I can understand, when you extract oil from the ground and you refine it,
don't worry about that audio. It's on me.
It's the primary gas that your stoves use. We burn it for like energy and stuff. It's really valuable. But one thing you get when trying to get methane is its less popular brother, ethane. And this is a byproduct.
How's the volume? Is it good?
Ethane is going to be there whether you like it or not. And for a while, that's just the way that ethane was seen. It's just one of the things that you get when you're digging up oil. But in the late 1800s, it was discovered that you could use it to make this weird substance. It was this white, waxy material discovered by German chemist Hans
Thank you, Anarch Serenity.
Also known as polyethylene, also known as plastic. Now, this discovery was an accident, and at the time, there wasn't really much you could do with it commercially. But in 1933, British company Imperial Chemical Industries, great name, accidentally discovered a way to synthesize this industrially. And the result was a material unlike the world had ever seen. Polyethylene was everything you wanted it to be. It was strong, it was lightweight, it was flexible, it was heat resistant, and most importantly, it was cheap.
Thank you. Yeah,
at the time,
definitely messed it up.
Viewed like the material of the gods. It could be clear like glass, but it didn't break when you dropped it. It was lighter than metal, less flammable than wood, sturdier than paper. You could color it, make it look like any material you wanted.
Realistically, like, I know plastic is very bad for the world, but it really is just like that is so great being able to just like, rather than doing the dishes, just put a cup in and throw it away. You know, it's like, on one standpoint, it's very convenient. It's convenient. That's all it is. Yeah.
It was easier to clean. It was easier to transport. It was cheap. It was durable. And thanks to injection molding, it was easy to mass produce on a large scale. This material could be used.
I remember that. Well, I don't think bus benches, but yeah, I remember we used to donate bottle caps.
Plastic became really big in the 40s. And since it was already in high production, when the war ended, there was an explosion of new plastic products to choose from.
Plastics take their rightful place in a world at peace. The future will bring plastic fabrics, wondrously fine, yet resistant to wear, wrinkles, and stains.
Saran wrap, squeeze bottles, Tupperware, shoes, dolls, garbage bag, plates, bras. People loved plastic, but manufacturers loved it even more. Why? Money. Remember, plastic comes from ethane, and ethane is really cheap. In fact, there's too much of it. Because if you're a fossil fuel company, you want methane. But if you're getting methane, you're also getting ethane. But it's not just that you don't want ethane.
So plastic is made of meth. That's what he just said.
methane. Nowadays, you literally have to find a way to get rid of it. You can't really mix it with the methane. You can't just release it out into the atmosphere. There's only so much of it you can legally burn. And if you don't find a way to get rid of this stuff, it becomes a big problem for production.
A lot of governments, including the US government, control how much you can flare. So it might be that you are producing so much ethane that you cannot flare it and you cannot send it down the pipeline. And if you can't sell it, you have to shut down the well. They hate shutting down the well. If there's still methane down there, if there's still oil down there, that's money in the ground. So it doesn't matter if you're making money on the ethane. You just need someone to take it away from you.
And plastic just makes sense. So from the 50s onwards, pretty much anything you could dream of was being made of the wonder material. The possibilities were endless. And the best part is that it would last forever because plastics basically last.
Is this like the greenhouse effect or something? Honestly, I don't know. It just says I'm pretty sure recycling isn't real, and I feel like that might be true. So I'm here to learn about it.
Last forever. That will come up again later. I'm not here to say that all plastic is bad at all times. I'm coming to appreciate that plastic does have a place in society. For example, before the invention of single-use plastic-filled diapers, children used to wear cloth diapers that were meant to be washed and reused. That's okay. We don't have to go back to that one. The problem is how much.
If I had to put my kid in the same pants after he just shit in public. So what would you do in public then? Like if they granola people do that? People that eat granola bars? Or is that like a group of people? I've never heard of that. If they are, bring extra and put it in a bag. So it says basically like it'd be like earthy people. Okay. So it would basically be like if you had a handkerchief. It's like a handkerchief for your butt, essentially.
Plastic is made. So what were we gonna do with all this trash? I would love to answer that question, but I do have to do a commercial for a brand real quick. Why would he just interrupt the video like that? Money. Wow, look at this totally normal meal for a college student. I can't wait to eat this and then go about my day. That was me about 8 months ago. I noticed that anytime I ate a salty meal, I would get these crazy chest pains and my heart would start beating really fast. And I was totally panicked because I didn't know why it was happening. I thought I was dying. I can feel my heart pounding in my ears. And I kept putting off seeing somebody about it because I was scared to go to the doctor.
I like how the recycling bins in public actually just got at the same waste dump as normal trash. Exactly. That's true. I worked on a clinic and I see on the algorithm the same dumpsters in the back. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no way that recycling can be true or real because there's nothing separating them when they actually get dumped. From my understanding, at least. I don't actually know.
But it got to a point where it was almost every meal, so I knew I couldn't deny it anymore. I had to go see a doctor as soon as possible, and that's why I used ZocDoc. Today's video is sponsored. If you want easy ways.
God damn it. Fucking ad.
Greenhouse gas emissions that come from when you actually produce the plastic to the disposal of plastic, a decent portion of which is just burned afterwards, which also contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. And probably the most annoying part of plastic, especially in the 60s and 70s, is that people would just throw them anywhere. It was in parks, roads, farmlands, lakes, rivers. Plastic also ends up in our oceans, which is bad because, as we all know, fish are dumb. And we'll confuse small pieces of plastic floating around as prey, and then they'll eat it. And then we'll eat it when we eat the fish. Did you know that the average American eats about a credit card's worth of plastic every—
We're eating credit cards? That isn't... Okay, so... I guess this wouldn't count because this is aluminum. But if I eat a 6, 7, okay.
every year. That's why I don't order seafood. It eats
Oh, every year. That's not as bad as I thought I was going to say a week. Because that would be crazy.
through my wallet. I'm doing great today. But the planet is a big place. I don't get why we can't just find somewhere to put it.
We have this one planet. We only have so many places that we could put our waste.
I can think of 3 different places we can put our trash right now.
You can't put it in the ocean. Look what happened.
Sure, obviously.
You can't put it on top of a mountain.
We can't.
They've even tried to put it into a volcano.
I didn't even think of that. We can't.
We have to come up with a better plan.
So we had way too much plastic trash.
Why could they not put it into a volcano? Fumes. But yeah, I mean...
trash. What could we do to fix the problem? Well, we could have cut down on plastic production, which would have solved the problem at the source. No, we're never going to do that. How about we come up with a slogan instead?
So you're saying there's plastic in what we eat, there's plastic in what we drink, there's plastic in the air, there's plastic in the ocean, there's plastic in the backyard, plastic in the front yard. We are basically plastic, so we're a bunch of mannequins walking around. That's very sad. And just, what, 20, or I don't remember what year you said. So not that long ago, there was people before plastic. Be happy, plastic. We are just plastic. Huh. That's crazy.
If you grew up in America after the 80s, you probably grew up learning about the 3 R's. Especially in the 90s and the 2000s, messaging about the benefits of reducing, reusing, and recycling was everywhere.
It's worth it.
It is worth it.
It was on posters, commercials, children's television. They made jingles about it. They talked about it in science class. Did you know that Schoolhouse Rock forced Mitchell Moose?
You know, I do feel like there was more push. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not, like, in class anymore. But I definitely feel like there was way more, like, discussion and, like, bins and stuff for plastic. Like, I feel like even in the workplace, like, at my workplace, there's just trash cans. There's not, like, a recycling area. I mean, I guess there technically is. But I don't know what they do with that.
To make a De La Soul parody song about it. Obviously, I can't play the whole thing here because Disney will have my head on a pike, but I will play a snippet shortly. However, before I do, I would like to read the lyrics to the first verse because it's written like a conspiracy theorist that's trying to make a connection that simply isn't there. 3. It's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number. Because 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 6 is 18. And the 18th letter in the alphabet is R. We got 3 R's we're going to talk about today. Go listen to this song immediately after this video. I assure you, it sounds worse when you sing it. This song had to have been written in 45 seconds. Recycling ads made it seem
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
we were fighting for world peace
I
every
love
time we
that
threw a
guy.
bottle away. I'm being responsible. I'm basically a hero. We treat recycling as if everyone who does it is single-handedly preventing a plastic straw from ending up in a sea turtle's nose. You did it, man! We won! But that slogan is written the way it is for a reason. It's written in order of importance.
I do feel like that too. Also, why is the standpoint always just like turtles? Like it affects like everyone. Like every literal thing gets affected by straws. But they're always like, oh, save the turtles.
If you want to help the environment, by far the single best thing you can do is reduce the amount of trash you make. If you don't want the planet to be filled with waste, don't make the waste in the first place. Beyond that, the next best thing you can do is to reuse the waste that you create. And I'm not talking about...
Turtles are endangered? They are? A specific turtle or all turtles? Because I just saw a turtle the other day on the golf course. Sea turtles. Well, how do we know what kind of turtles are endangered? That is the ocean. The ocean is a... I see turtles all the time. Ethan... Holding 2 dicks is in danger. Yes, you are in danger. You are going to get plastic up your butt.
that 5-minute crash reuse, I turn these bottle caps into jewelry. I'm not doing that. I'm a grown man. I don't just own a glue gun. It's kind of crazy how underrated reusing things is. We'll talk about this more later, but Americans have been taught to believe that reusing things is for poor people. Historically, though, every culture and every people have always reused everything they can.
I am locked in.
Thinking about ancient Greek sculptors, their favorite material to use was bronze. And the reason that we only have a few of these left, they got melted down to make implements of war. Egyptian kings would wait for previous monuments to maybe fall into a little bit of disrepair, and they would knock them down, and they would use those pieces to build their own monuments. Sometimes the Romans would take their sculptures and they would recarve them into the sculptures of the
That
emperor.
looks like an absolute chud. That kind of looks like Luke. Realistically. I think if you pulled up a picture of Luke here, that would look like That's what he would look like. Damn it, I couldn't find a picture.
If you grew up in a melanated household, then you know that just because a container that used to hold food is now empty, it does not mean its life is over. I'll be the first to admit this. I used to be embarrassed when we'd have people over and I'd have to explain to them that we use the empty Greek yogurt containers from Costco as cups. Well, I wasn't embarrassed at first. It wasn't until somebody who wasn't in my family came to my home, saw what was happening, explained to me that their family doesn't do this, that it immediately clicked, yeah, of course nobody else does this. This looks weird. But looking back, objectively, it shouldn't be viewed as weird because we used that container 50 times longer than it was intended to be used. We saved them from going into a landfill prematurely. That is, of course, until I put it in the microwave and it became immediately unusable because, of course, it was. It was a Greek yogurt plastic container. It can't handle that heat. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, you end up with plastic that you just don't know what else to do with. Then, and only then, is when the last art.
Really? Well, that's good for you, Luke. I'm glad that you've been recycling your whole life. I had a recycling bin. It would just get filled up really fast and like overflow all over the place. Oh, he only did it for the way. Okay. Well, you know, that's better than nothing, I guess. Oh, you guys are about to get a tail on the camera. Gosh darn it. Cheeto. Jesus, he tried to take out my whole camera.
The idea that some company or organization could take your trash and turn it into anything your heart desires. It's the most magical of the 3 R's. Magical in the sense that it's not real. That isn't to say recycling doesn't work for anything. There are actually a number of materials that recycle rather well. Aluminum, for example, is considered infinitely recyclable, meaning you can recycle it over and over and over again and it won't break down in quality. In fact, of all aluminum that has ever been produced, 75% of it is still in circulation today. Now, you compare that to plastic that actually breaks down every time you recycle it. And of all the plastic that's ever been produced, 70% of it has been discarded. In fact, generous estimates say that only 10% of all plastic has ever been recycled once, and only 1% ever gets recycled twice. I think the main thing that makes recycling super difficult is that it doesn't arrive at the facility in perfect condition, organized by color and material. It comes in one gray blob, and there is almost surely animal and or human feces in the mix. And even the stuff that isn't fecal matter, a good portion of those materials shouldn't be in that pile. Recycling rules get so confusing because, first of all, you need to know what type of plastic it is because not all plastics can even be recycled.
I don't know. He's
did
being
you know
weird.
You have to clean the plastic before you put it in the bin? Some packaging material.
You're supposed to clean the plastic before you put it in there? I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. I feel like that'd be kind of like a... I don't think I did that, though. Maybe I'd rinse that out. I don't know.
Even if it has the recycling symbol on the front, some recycling plants can't accept it. And I would love to sit here and tell you all the ins and outs of what can and can't be recycled. I really wanted to make it work. I come up with a bit where I was going to get a scroll and be like, hear ye, hear ye. I can't do that because recycling rules change everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's a new set of instructions. The ones in my area are different from the ones in your area, and the next...
What are our rules? I don't even know. Cheeto! Did you see that? Did you see that, guys? Did you just see that? He was trying to take my poster down. He doesn't like Tyler the Creator, I guess. Cheeto. Why? Why don't you like Tyler the Creator? Justice for Cheeto? Justice for me. He just tried to take my poster down.
guy's area and the next guy after that. And despite all that effort, most plastics just end up in a landfill or being burned in an incinerator. So how did we come up with such an ineffective system? Well, to understand that, you're gonna have to... So you're pretending you're this businessman from the 50s and you work in the plastic industry, and your entire job...
Cheeto has not gotten fat. He is just growing older. Cheeto is just a healthy young boy. He's just got a little bit more weight on him in a good way. He's eating good.
is just to make money. You know, one of the reasons life sucks now is because you can't own anything anymore because everything is a subscription. Sure, I could make some money selling you something once, but I could make more money if I sold it to you once a month for the rest of your life.
Cheeto does not pee on his toys. Cheeto is whacking me in the face. His brother poops on the floor, though. Cheeto, you gotta give me some space, dude. Good boy.
But how am I gonna get you to buy more plastic? I just spent all this money advertising how durable it is and how it basically lasts forever. People know you don't need any more plastic. What am I supposed to... What if I just told you the opposite? Imagine you're in a room with the most boring old white men that you can think of, and then the main old white guy is in the center, and he's like, okay guys, if we want to make money, we have to convince the public to throw away the plastic. And everybody was like, what's this guy talking about? And the main guy is still up front. He's all like, you guys, listen. Glass and metal are expensive and heavy and breakable, but plastic is made of oil, so obviously it costs basically nothing. And then one guy raises his hand and he's like, wait, I thought oil was basically like black gold and every country on earth is fighting for it literally all the time. And the main guy's like, shut up, it's not important. Nobody knows how both those things are true. This is just the way the world works. It's light, it's cheap, and we have more than enough to sell. If we can just convince them to throw away the plastic stuff they already have, I promise you we will all make so much money. And remember, that's your job. That scenario wasn't really an exaggeration.
I do feel like not even just recycling, but I just feel like everything, like at some point over my life, everything has turned from the enjoyment of the people and even businesses to now it's just every single thing is a transaction. Everything makes you want to spend money. Everybody's trying to make money. Nobody does anything other than if it's for money. So like there's so many people that won't do streaming, let's say, like I'm streaming right now. There's a lot of people that won't do this unless they're in the intent of making money. Like people don't have the hobbies anymore because they want to make money from it. I just don't understand why that is. Because, like, I make music kind of more on the hobby side. I don't make any money from it, but I still do it. And that's fine. Like, I just don't understand where along that timeline everything just switched to being about money. Which money is great, don't get me wrong, you get to buy stuff, but
1956 annual conference for the plastics industry, Lord Stouffer, an editor of a trade magazine, literally told plastic executives their future is in the trash can. But there was a problem. This was the 50s. These people lived through the Great Depression, where they used dresser drawers as baby cribs, and they made the most insane recipes with any food they could find. You know that one guy on TikTok from 3 years ago who used to make all those recipes from the 30s? That was depression food, not the feeling, the time period. Although you may confuse it to be the same thing because they couldn't afford fruit, so when they made apple pies,
that is true. Everything did turn into a corporation. Every you know, and I think that's the point too. That's like the most concerning point of like what life is today, is everything turned into a corporation, like you said. But it's like it's just a bunch of rich people making more money, and everyone that's underneath that line is just getting fucked over and over and harder. Pause. But like, it's just like we're just at some point it's going to, you know, it's just like, yeah, like help the homeless. You know, like there's no reason we should have a trillionaire alive when there's so many homeless people that can't afford to eat, drink water, live in literally a box hut, eat the rich. I don't think we should be eating people, but
wasn't with apples, it was with crackers and water. This era of Americans was not used to the idea that you buy something, use it one time, and immediately get another one. That would be like if I invited you over for dinner and we were eating off glass plates, and at the end of the night you asked me if I want you to put your plate in the sink, and I just told you, nah, just throw it away. What are you talking about? And again, you were just telling the public how plastic is basically indestructible. So why would they just want to get rid of it? So the plastic industry had to make new ads that were basically like,
Okay, forget everything we just said about plastic, okay? It's not that great. It's cheap, and we have an endless supply of it. So after you use it, just throw it out, okay? If you eat off of it, if you drink out of it, if you look at it too hard, just throw it out. It's fine.
but isn't that kind of wasteful?
Come on, man. All the cool kids are doing it.
For decades, Americans
Americans had a make it do or do without mentality. Our new throwaway culture fell in love with single-use plastics and didn't worry about the consequences.
Being disposable, there are no empties to collect. Vinyl and asbestos on the floor.
In fresh sun, sea, and sky colors.
So people started throwing stuff away. Everywhere. It was too much stuff. Littering was now becoming a bigger problem following the rise of single-use plastics, which combined with other environmental concerns led to one of the biggest environmental movements in modern history.
This is a CBS News.
You know, that's a good point. When you think about it, like the trash you're throwing, Cheeto. Okay. Oh my goodness, Cheeto almost knocked my TV over. When you think about it, majority of your trash in your trash can is plastic. If you're somebody, I mean, like an average person, I would say. Like, yeah, you have like maybe a banana slice here and there, or maybe a little bit of cardboard from a container, but majority of it is plastic.
News special. Earth Day.
A day set aside for a nationwide outpouring of mankind seeking its own survival.
April 22nd, 1970 was the world's first Earth Day. A time for people in some of the most confusing pieces of attire and hairstyles that the human race had ever seen up to that point in their history gathered together to discuss issues hurting the environment. And of the many issues, one of the issues on the docket was plastic waste. In fact, you start to hear talk that maybe plastic should be banned altogether. But again, you're a businessman in the plastics industry. If your product gets banned, you can't make any more money. That's your one job. You're blowing this. But you, as a businessman, maybe you take a second to realize maybe enough's enough. Your decisions have negatively impacted the planet. You've made more money than you could ever hope to spend in your lifetime. Maybe it's time that the plastics industry goes to rest. You retire. Maybe spend more time with your wife and the kids. Maybe this is a good thing after all. Maybe it's time to call it quits and let the packaging industry go back to its more sustainable practices. I'm kidding. It's time to plot. And what do we do every time we need the public to change their opinion immediately for our own benefit? Advertising.
What? Did the audio just cut out? Or is this clip just... I think this clip just got copyright.
First off,
Okay.
this man is Italian. Secondly, although this ad may look like it was paid for by some environmental activist group, it was actually produced by Keep America Beautiful, an organization started by the packaging industry like Coca-Cola and Dixie Cups. You know, the people who made the trash. The point of this ad wasn't to stop litter. It was to make it abundantly clear that this littering thing, that's your fault. But aren't you guys the ones that got an entire generation of Americans to start acting like this in the first place? Don't change the subject. You made that Italian man in an almost surely offensive garb cry. Look at what you did. That's a great first step. But if you really want the people to get off your back about a problem, you have to promise them a solution. Give them something to believe in. And so essentially what happened was the equivalent of, I'm sorry guys, this is getting out of hand. The city's gonna have to ban the plastic. No, wait. Okay, we'll fix it. Jeez.
A growing backlash was threatening the future of plastic.
So it was up to us in the plastics industry to solve this problem so that they could continue to package their products in plastic.
To appease government officials, the industry funded a local recycling pilot project.
The industry attitude was, we'll set this up and get it going, but if the public wants it, they are going to have to pay for it.
So they invested millions into bringing recycling into the mainstream. But could that even work, technically? The process of turning used plastic into new plastic is physically possible. The issue is when you have to do it with millions of pounds of plastic. Could this system work at scale? Technically? No, the answer to that one's just no. According to NPR and a paper from the Center for Climate Integrity, internal plastic...
You know, I don't even know how they like reuse plastic. Like, do they melt? They wouldn't melt it down, right? I honestly don't really know what the components of plastic are, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how to make plastic.
Plastic industry documents from the late 60s and early 70s gave a sterling recommendation of the recycling process. Using faith-strengthening words such as costly, we have serious doubt that it can ever be made viable on an economic basis, and virtually hopeless. The plastics industry knew from the very beginning this was never gonna work, and they did it anyway. Why? Money. Here's the thing. It doesn't actually need to work. It just...
Plastic doesn't recycle well? See, that's what I'm saying. There's no way... Yeah, that's so weird. Why don't we just push more for aluminum like they said because it's reusable? Or is that just a really big a resource.
Needs to look like it works. If it'll get the hippies to shut up, sure, we can paint some trash cans blue and put some arrows on it and maybe blow a few
Well, the problem with glass is cheaper. The problem with glass is the breakability of it. I think it scares a lot of people, especially with like people who have kids and stuff. I think that those kind of things scare them a little bit.
building some recycling centers, and we'll run a few ads about it. Is it gonna cost us? Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, sorry. I was checking the weather real quick. Looks a little cloudy out there. Nothing. We got nothing.
Cheaper than having our entire industry.
Bye. Adios. Enjoy your movie, whatever you're watching. If it's Obsession, it's a really good movie. Really good movie.
Banned or coming up with a solution that would actually work. If someone can prove me wrong, I would welcome you to do so in the comment section. But as far as I can tell, the entire idea of recycling is basically just theater, and you can see it everywhere. For example, a lot of people think that all plastics are recyclable, but they're not. Some types of plastics, no matter what you do, can never be recycled. But
okay, so plastic wrap, plastic grocery bags, pizza boxes because of the grease. All wax, lemon tray, carton, styrofoam, and the stuff on the right is majority of what we use. That is actually insane. Okay, one second, guys. All right. Sorry, I had to kick Cheeto out because he started to knock stuff over.
you wouldn't know just by looking at it. That wasn't until out of the kindness of their hearts, a lobbying and trade group known as the Society of the Plastics Industry, a loving organization with a not at all nefarious sounding name, proposed a solution to identify which plastics can and can't be recycled. Okay, we've heard there's been a little bit of confusion as to what you can put in the bin, so today we're proposing a new symbol that we're going to put on all the plastic products so everybody knows exactly what can and can't be recycled. Okay, that actually sounds pretty good. No, that's not cool. No! Is there a problem, sir? That looks exactly like the recycling symbol. How dare you? My work is completely original. It's in a triangle shape. I didn't know anybody could own a shape. It has a chasing arrows. My arrows are slimmer. Yeah, but if you squint and look at them both, they pretty much look exactly. Yeah, but mine has numbers in it. You notice that, Einstein? You're so good at pointing things out. You notice that? You know they look the same. Why would you make them look?
I didn't know that they had different things for that. Or is this like older? I don't know.
Exactly the same. Money. This is the resin identification code. It was invented by Society of the
PP.
Plastics Industry in 1988. On paper, its purpose is to identify what kind of plastic a thing is made out of. Each type getting a different number. As far as I know, there are 7 RIC numbers, and pretty much only 1 and 2 are widely considered recyclable. But if you didn't know that, because why would you just casually know that? Wouldn't you just assume that this means that the thing is recyclable, and you put it in the bin, and you think recycling is working? The plastics industry lobbied 40 states to get the RIC symbol to look like this. As long as you think it's working, it doesn't matter if it actually is. That's the whole name of the game. But why though? What specifically about recycling is so impossible to get right? Fun fact, when you look up Society of the Plastics Industry on YouTube, one of the first search results is a promo they just released called Recycling is Real. Is it though?
That's kind of funny.
Because there's no way she flew a plane. Do you see my point? Like, you hear what I'm saying? Helen can't do either, and you mean to tell me she was navigating the skies? Random question. Would you say you have a decent idea of how a toilet works? I feel like most people would say yes. Like, it's a toilet, you know, you push a thing, water comes out, seems pretty simple. Okay, cool. Here are all the parts. Build a toilet. I saw somebody say this as a good example of showing that people don't really know how most things work. Even things that seem relatively simple. You put all the pieces in front of them.
I think that's like that's something I think about all the time that I wish I knew more about was the pure amount of things that I don't know how they work. Because like I don't know. Like there's just like, you know, if my TV stopped projecting the screen right now, then I would have absolutely zero clue on how to even read what's wrong with my TV, let alone fix the issue.
The average person doesn't understand how a lot of things work. With that being said, do you feel you have a good idea of how recycling works? I'll be honest, I thought you just melted it and then shaped it again, but the process has like 17,000 steps. Because you can't just put all the plastics into one big vat and melt it down. They all have different properties and different melting temperatures. If you did that, you would just end up with a bunch of useless goop. So first you have to create recycling centers and a recycling program for a given area. Then you need to inform the people about what can and cannot go into the recycling bin, which is pretty much a useless step because no matter what you do, people are going to put anything they want in the bin.
Very surprised what people think is recyclable.
You name it, eventually it'll be found in it.
A pool table.
Big propane tanks.
Needles.
A neck brace.
We've had guns, ammunition, fireworks, sparklers.
We had a live snake.
After you pick it up, you have to do your best to separate the non-recyclables from the rest of the mix.
Somebody put a live snake?
And treat them and process them. All of that just to get recycled plastic, a material that is less durable and more expensive than virgin plastic. From an economic and practical standpoint, this process makes almost no sense. You can sit there and say, it shouldn't matter, we should do this for the good of the planet. Unless you're gonna do it, or you're gonna fork up the cash to get somebody else to, it's not getting done. As wifionmars said when speaking about just the separation process, unless someone's paying for it, the plastic's going to the landfill. So you may be wondering, surely there was a point in time when recycling kind of worked at least a little bit? Technically, yes. Seeing the monstrous problem before them, the best and brightest American minds of that generation came up with a solution that, at least from an economic standpoint, was viable. Describing it with the gravitas it deserves, it was the equivalent of... There we go, yep. Shh, it's okay, we're okay, it's okay. We just gave all our trash to China. I'm sorry, how does this work? It's simple. We'll pick up the recyclables, put them on trucks, bring them to recycling centers, they'll organize them, crush them, turn them into bricks. We'll put those bricks onto different trucks, drive them to the coast, sell them to the Chinese, and then load them onto cargo ships. And once the ships reach China, they'll take the bricks, give them to low-wage workers to organize them, and turn them into new stuff. And when it's all said and done, for every dollar we spend on this project...
Is that why so many things are from China? Is because China can do that? I'm pretty lost here. Also, that is purely insane. That was our solution, was to ship off our trash. I'm basically saying, nah, it's somebody else's problem.
We will earn $1.01, which is more money than when we started. Okay. And that's how recycling worked in America for over 25 years. But it wasn't just the US. According to NPR, 70% of the world's plastic waste was being sent to China. And China was getting a slight profit out of this, but that profit was being outweighed by all the other indirect costs that came with this recycling program. Because we never actually solved the problem of littering and handling the trash properly. We just gave the problem to a different country.
These sorting facilities in China would often illegally dump the portion of the plastics that even they couldn't profitably recover, creating an environmental problem that the government had to pay to clean up.
Martin Borque, I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, executive director of the Ecology Center in Berkeley, California, once put a tracker in a bale of waste sent to China just to see what would happen to it. And when it touched mainland and they got in contact with the locals that were near where the tracker was placed, they found that it was just littered. On top of that, remember how people will recycle anything, including hazardous materials? Well, it turns out that those materials were causing hazard to the Chinese workers who were sorting them. After a while, the Chinese government must have reasoned to itself, maybe destroying our country's lakes and giving people occasional anthrax poisoning isn't worth $17 of profit. So they banned the import of pretty much all plastic waste in 2018 with no warning. To which the waste management industry calmly responded, what am I supposed to do with all this? Once China stopped taking it, we didn't have many options on where to put it. Imagine you were taking your trash out for the week and the garbage man just said, no!
Okay, well if that wasn't until 2020 or 2018 when we started doing that, then that would make sense why randomly it felt like there was a shift. So basically, I'm assuming what he's about to drive into is that we didn't have anywhere to put it, so we just put it with our trash that we already have, which is very bad.
Then drove away. You then have two options: create a pile in the backyard or set it on fire. And that's exactly what we've done for the past 8 years. I really tried to verify
We just set it on fire. So we're just completely destroying like the ozone and all that shit.
As far as I know, when you recycle something, most of the time, it just ends up in a landfill or in an incinerator. Because there's just no money to do anything else with it. And I would love to sit here and say there is a solution and that they're working on something that's gonna work in the next few years. But as far as I know, right now, at this current moment, this is all recycling is. Almost every solution I read about when researching this video is either going to hurt the environment more or it's going to cost way too much money. Even when something says it's made of recycled plastics, I'm pretty sure in most cases it just ends up looking something like this. So you promise that when I put a plastic bottle in the bin, you turn it into another plastic bottle just like new? Absolutely. In fact, I have one right here. That is not the same thing. I'm doing the best I can! Downcycling is when a recycled product isn't as good quality as when it was first made. For example, a food-grade plastic that gets recycled is no longer good enough quality for food packaging, and so it becomes part of like a plastic bench or something. Okay, but I saw a TikTok of a mad scientist fellow who was turning plastic into fuel. Why can't they just do that? Technically, as far as I know, that process is called pyrolysis, and it is possible. Because like plastic is made from oil, so couldn't you do some science stuff to maybe turn it back into oil? I don't get it, but it is scientifically possible.
I don't know if that guy in that little clip there is the same guy, but I'm pretty sure there was a guy that made like something like cars running on water. Like he made some kind of invention like that, and he hasn't been seen since, which is absolutely insane.
So why don't they do it? According to the TikTok comment section of that video, it's because the CEO of Exxon will personally 360 no-scope this guy if he ever goes to market. That's not why. Then why not? Money. Again, could you build a toilet at scale?
See, and that's the problem is that everything is about money. We're not doing what is best for the world. We're just, what can we make profit off of?
The process of pyrolysis costs way too much economically and environmentally. As far as doing it for plastics, at least, it just doesn't make much sense. Besides that, the process of this and other forms of advanced recycling generates a lot of hazardous waste. According to the NRDC, they once observed that an advanced recycling plant, also known as a chemical recycling plant, created almost 500,000 pounds of hazardous waste in 2019 alone. In addition, these plants produce air pollution, which poses a health risk to nearby neighborhoods. Neighborhoods that tend to be made of low-income, non-white people. As a result, these neighborhoods lose even more of their value, and due to the health risk that come with being so close to one of these facilities, it turns these areas into what ProPublica described as sacrifice zones. And on top of that,
sacrifice zones?
Plants just end up burning the plastic. However, none of that will stop the plastics industry from saying they're doing it. Because again, it barely matters that it's not working. As long as people think it could, they're not going to get mad at us.
Innovation in American plastics means reducing, reusing, and
manufacture.
So you recycle.
Well, yeah, we manufacture recycled plastic. It's how we stay competitive.
And it's better for the environment.
And it's better for business.
They always say better for the environment. That's the lie.
How?
It's the way of the future. The U.S. has to keep up.
First off, this ad was made by America's Plastic Makers, and on their website, they will tell you that they are part of the plastics division of the American Chemistry Council and their member companies, which include Chevron, Dow, Exxon, and Shell. The companies that make the oil that make the plastic. Secondly, he never answered a question. Am I the only one that peeped that?
And it's better for the environment.
And it's better for business.
How?
It's the way of the future.
I've seen this ad a billion times, and I've noticed that detail every single time. Like, that was a question she was asking, and he just ignored it and talked about the business of it. Am I
That's one of those things where your brain just tells you that it was like part of the marketing scheme and that it is good for the environment and it's also good for working. But they clearly use that as a bypass to fill your brain with wrong information without actually telling any lie, so they don't have to be obligated or at fault for the truth.
Say that's what just happened.
Now you're getting.
Recycling yesterday's plastic because it was made to be more.
It's not, though. It's made to be one thing, one time for 30 seconds, and then spend the next 1,000 years polluting a river in Taiwan. And I think all these ads and messaging and borderline propaganda just serves to confuse people on what's actually happening with their trash, i.e., the propaganda is working. Laura Leebrook, a manager of a recycling plant in Oregon, explained that when she tries to tell people that recycling doesn't work, they don't want to believe her. Because the truth is, we need recycling. Not because it fixes any problem, it's because it removes this guilt. It's kind of like when you get those ads for children's cancer hospitals and you can't skip it because you have to wait 5 seconds, so before you can, you try not to make eye contact with the sick child in the video. It's kind of like that. We don't want to be confronted with the fact that American...
That reminds me, one time I was in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru and they were like, just going through the thing. I was like, can I get a chicken sandwich, whatever. And at the end of it, they said, do you want a brownie it was like, do you want to get a brownie and to donate to kids in need or something like that? And I was just not thinking about it at all. I was going through the thing and I was just like, nah, but I'll take some Chick-fil-A sauce though. And right after that, I realized that they were like asking me to help kids in need, and I just told them, no, but I'll take some sauce, which was kind of crazy.
Consumption is disgusting. We need something to believe in. It's a reason to feel that we're not destroying the planet with our insatiable greed. It doesn't have to actually work. I just need to believe that I'm doing something so I can sleep at night. If I just put the bottle in the blue bin, I don't have to be confronted with the fact that that bottle is going to sit somewhere for the next 700 years. If I don't have to look at it, it's almost as if it doesn't exist anymore. Don't take that from me.
Recycling, it's one of those things where not only does the public kind of depend on that emotionally to relinquish their, guilt about buying things, but it has been kept alive by the manufacturers.
Ultimately, though, anytime we spend placing the blame solely on the individual is when the propaganda has fully accomplished its work. Yes, American consumption is killing us, but who sold the poison? Corporations are the ones that invested in plastic. Corporations are the ones that convinced Americans to...
This is the same exact thing that is happening currently with AI. Like, literally everybody that's investing into it is corporations because they're going to make more money and replace people and have to spend less money on actual people working at their places and use it for AI technology to maximize profit and minimize spending. And they're doing the exact same thing that they did for plastic and trash and basically just about everything they ever do. So, if you ever seen the movie Robots, the scene where that lady with the trash wants to get rid of things and destroy it all, that is the world now.
Buy more plastic than they could ever need. Corporations are the ones that blame consumers for a littering problem that they created. Corporations are the ones that pushed and promoted a solution they knew would never work. And corporations are the ones that paint themselves as the heroes and innovators solving a crisis that they created while ultimately not coming up with any scalable solutions, all the while creating more plastic. Lisa Ramsden of Greenpeace USA says the plastics industry intends to triple plastic production by 2050. The takeaway from this discussion isn't that we shouldn't be doing what we can. We should all still be reducing, reusing, and then when all else fails, recycling, because a bad solution is better than no solution. But the real takeaway is this: no matter what any company, ad campaign, children's media, catchy jingle, or industry group tries to tell you, this conversation isn't just solely about how much you love the planet. This whole conversation has always been about money. And although it technically exists, and I'm by no means an expert, I'm pretty sure recycling isn't real.
Plastics take their rightful place in a world of peace.
Holy shit. W fucking video. That was great. Yeah, I'm subscribed. Yeah, W fucking video. That honestly kind of was not what I was expecting. I mean, he said that, you know, recycling isn't real, and I knew that to a degree, but I didn't look at it from that standpoint. That's very eye-opening, so damn. That is going to be all for this segment of this stream. I will be back in just about an hour and a half, probably. I'm just going to eat some dinner and stuff, and then I'll be back, and then I'm going to be playing Only Up, and then I will be most likely playing Supermarket Simulator with Jack. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back around 10. So thank you.